Good morning. Welcome to Unity Longmont Spiritual Center on February 21st, 2021. And we are blessed to have Bobbie Wilson as our speaker and to lead us in meditation today, and Teresa Storch to provide music. And so we'll begin with a piece of music, please.
Unmute. Okay. Unmuting. That's the word of the day. Unmute. So I learned from Bobbie that her talk was on listening to your inner wisdom. So I thought of my songs that are kind of related to that. This is more of like a love song, but like a gotta follow my own heart back when I was single. Listen to myself. This is a strange, strange place. The looming red rock wall looks about to set sail. The desert ocean floor is the surface of the moon, and the sky opens up into another world. 'Cause out here everything gets faded in the sun or faded by your love. You see, I drove back 1,000 extra miles for 2 blissful days. But is this just a passing phase? Is my rate of return worth the risk in everything I've gained? Now here everything gets faded in the sun, or it's been a long, long time. But I decided to let my independence reign. Yeah, I decided to let my independence reign. This is a solitary life. Still, I wonder if we might share the ride. Well, you've got dreams to find while I'm out here living mine. I miss security sometimes. I feel more secure just knowing you're out there when it's been a long, long time. But I decided to let my independence reign. Yeah, I decided to let my independence reign. I feel my fortress crumble at my feet. Does that mean I am losing me? Well, I want 3 things to be clear, brave and true, to say yes when I mean it, and no if I need to. But out here in the desert, I don't know what to do. 'Cause out here everything gets faded in the sun. Everything is faded in the sun. Everything's faded. I independence rain. Let it rain. Let it rain. Let it rain.
Thank you, Teresa. And it's at this time that we go into prayer together by taking a breath, resting into our bodies. Beloved presence, on a radiant day like today, we are reminded that each of us has divine radiance within. And we can share that with a smile, with a nod, with an acknowledgement. We share that with each other. And when our humanness forgets, that smile, that nod, that acknowledgement, kindle that radiance again. And for all the experiences that we have, we are grateful, especially those that are shared. And so it is. We'll have another piece of music.
Okay. We might have visitors from the children and their dog, so apologize. Peeking in. So this is another of my personal times I was listening to myself and having to I wrote this when I was leaving. Well, it was a year before I left my old home of Boston and moved back here to Colorado, and it was really hard to leave all the friends that I met there and the music family I'd made, but I had to come back, so just felt right, so listen to that voice. Church bells chime. Enjoy this old back porch one last time. Last days of summer, it's 2008. And time for decisions. I'll set my own fate. Withering leaves, no time for debate.
I know
be scared of. Nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of.
Thank you, Teresa. Nothing to be scared of. We are all okay. So let us open our hearts to Bobbie Wilson and her message and meditation.
Let me unmute. Okay. So today I was given the unwanted topic of listening. And it's unwanted because it's one of my least favorite things to actually pay attention to. I don't know about you, but that's what it is for me. So let's just get ourselves into a position here of relaxation and openness, and let's go into a meditation. So wait where you are, take a deep breath and breathe that air in and let it flow through your body as if it's going to every cell. See if you can sense the air coming in through your nostrils, down into your body to the heart, the lungs, and out from there into the bloodstream, into every cell, every far-reaching cell of the body to fingers and toes. And then as you breathe out, allow the breath to come from all those extremities all the way back up through and out into the universe. And open your listening capacities. As you breathe in, hear the sound of the breath moving through your body, in and out. And breathing out. And as you take another breath, become aware of all the parts of your body that the breath is touching. The muscles. Any tension anywhere, let it go. Let it relax. Let the weight of your body sink into the chair. And then on your next breath, become aware of any emotions that might be sitting around. Is there something you feel you ought to do? Are you anxious a little bit? Are you thinking of the next thing? Is there something that's bothering you that you want to fix? Just put those little things down for the moment, because those voices will be there. But we want to hear another voice. We want to hear a deeper voice. So let your mind wander as it will. But instead of paying attention to it, let your attention sink into the seat of your being. And just reside there. As we go through our morning, our talk, just become aware of this place that isn't distracted, that holds you, that knows you, that loves you, that is the source of you. And as you breathe deeply into this place, and then Breathing out, let that place the knowledge and the awareness and the wisdom from that center of you flow through the body, the mind, so that your soul can breathe. And now from that deep, peaceful place, from that relaxed, open place, when you're ready, open your eyes and we can begin. So, as I said before, listening is not my favorite thing to do. My mind doesn't like not being in charge. And it likes to run around and see what the next thing is. That's more exciting, more new, more interesting to my mind. But it's actually not a good way for me to lead my life, because then life becomes an endless to-do list. First this thing, then that thing, then the other thing, and the mind keeps directing me. So listening has been sort of a many decades project of mine. And I'd like to share what I have learned with you up to date. So first of all, let's look at listening, the definition. Listening is the ability to accurately receive and interpret messages in the communication process. Listening is key to all effective communication. Without the ability to listen effectively, messages are easily misunderstood. Okay, so, we all think we can listen, right? We've got ears. We hear those sounds. We hear what the other person's saying, the words. But that's just hearing. Hearing is simply the act of perceiving sound by the ear. Unless you're deaf or hearing impaired, it simply happens. Listening, on the other hand, is something you consciously choose to do. Listening requires concentration so that your brain processes meaning from words and sentences, and also from other sources, which we'll get into later. So this morning, as in every morning, I sit with my coffee, and as an excuse to sit for a while, I find something to read. And it's usually the morning papers. Big mistake, but I do it anyway. Naturally, the news is mostly fearful, alarming, and scary because, hey, that's what sells papers. I can feel my heart just clench with each article I read about the suffering of millions due to natural disasters, due to weather anomalies, climate change, injustice, racism, poverty. Naturally, I feel the obligation to do something, and I feel guilt for living in a home that has heat and a refrigerator full of food when others don't have enough. This is the story my mind tells me. You should do something. You're guilty. You're responsible. And these are old patterns of responsibility and guilt that muddy my thinking and cause my heart to close. How do I live in a seemingly crumbling world? And so my mind takes the reins and it goes into a worry loop. My heart closes and my ability to connect with the wisdom of the creator of life is impaired. It's impaired because I haven't listened. What do I mean by not listening? My hearing is perfectly good. I do create a quiet space every day to sit and pray for the world to be healed, for others to be as blessed as I feel, for problems to be solved. And often I'm listening for the answers I seek to the problems that I believe need fixing. And often all I hear are the crickets. The sound of no answer, just the crickets in the atmosphere clicking away. No words of wisdom come, no guidance on how to make the world better. And what is better anyway? Better according to me. Better in ways that would appear to give me and others more stability and less threat. Better by giving me a plan, a look into the future, a way to control life and minimize uncertainty. But because I haven't heard anything, I haven't really listened. And because I think I know what the answers should be, I have drowned out the guidance. Because I have already presumed that God and I have the same strategy, the same plans for the salvation of the earth and the people. When I think I know the solution, nothing else can penetrate my awareness. I become spiritually deaf. God, life, the universe, whatever you want to call that force that we are all from, God knows. Not my little ego mind. If that is true, and I believe it is, then I need to let go of my ideas, my sense of guilt, my seeming smallness, and listen. So, how do I do that? What then is involved in listening, really? Well, these things come to mind for me. First of all, listening starts with humility. For me, that means realizing that I am a part of the flow of life. I do not stand alone or exist without the support of all that is. I'm going to say that again, the support of all that is. Think of how awesome that is. We are part of all that is, and there is no escaping that. Except when our minds cling to the hubris of the thought that we are separate. And that separation thought, as ubiquitous as it is in our humanity, really is the basic false assumption that we as humans are conditioned to believe. In unity, we are learning that separation is an illusion. And all truth is revealed through our connection to our source. And that source connects us all to each other. A web of life, if you will. So think of that. If we are all connected in this interlacing web, we have access to the wisdom of that which created us. If we are all connected with life, then we have the ability to hear life, God's wisdom, through tuning into that connected web. So how do we tune in? So, in addition to requiring us to be humble and to be aware of our connection, listening occurs when we are empty of mind, when we let go of our interpretation of what is said and what we hear, when we give the mind a rest from making meaning out of those sounds, and we allow the body to unclench and become aware of all of our senses. So letting the mind go and then using our senses. True listening uses all of our senses: hearing, touch, smell, taste, sight, as well as our intuition, our gut. All of those things can hear. We can hear the data coming from our bodies. We can feel the tension. We can sense when we go numb. We can sense when we distract ourselves from our bodies and our emotional signals. And all of those distractions, those looking elsewhere, those clenchings, are all means of blocking out our wisdom, our innate wisdom. We need to listen with all our senses to hear life's wisdom. So we can relax and let go and breathe and trust. We can allow our awareness to attend to the body, to pay attention, to receive its messages. We can open. Now, if you're like me, did you ever see a dog sitting quietly, maybe even looking like it's asleep, and a squirrel runs by and immediately the dog's up and running after that squirrel? It's not so easy to attend to the body when our mind is constantly trying to say, wait a minute, this might be a danger. This might be something you want. This might be something we need to pay attention to. So it's actually a practice of allowing the mind, noticing that and allowing the mind to notice those things, but not for us to pay attention to them, for us to go right back and attend to our senses. Another aspect of listening is that listening requires an open heart. And for most of us, the most difficult practice is to allow the heart to open fully, because it means that we might get hurt. That's what we think anyway. That we might have to let go of grievances or forgive ourselves or others. That we might look weak or foolish. We become wholly vulnerable. We feel undefended. And that's actually a good place. There's a great paradox in having an undefended heart. A Course in Miracles says, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. That means that when the heart is open, we become aware of the Christ within us. And that awareness of the Christ strength, the Christ consciousness in us, means that we need no defense. We don't need defenses. In fact, defensiveness would cloud the sense of Christ's presence in us. You can just feel that. If I'm open to the presence, but a defensive maneuver comes into my awareness, I'm no longer fully open to the presence, am I? I'm thinking of what I need to do to protect myself. So an open heart allows divine love to be given and received through us. And folks, that's the main reason we're here. We are a channel. That's our purpose. Receiving divine love and allowing that love to flow out to others undefended. And that, of course, doesn't mean that we lose our sanity, that we become a doormat, that we let bad things happen to us. No, it's not that. It's that while we are living life, we are living from the certainty that we are protected, that we have the means, that we have the gifts of knowing when and where to be and how to do things. So part of listening is hearing what love, what God has to say. Another requirement for listening is we have to be willing. We have to have a willingness. Now, if you can consider willingness is an energy, it's actually an agreement with life to follow where it leads. An agreement with God, with spirit, to follow the will. of the divine. It's a willingness to invest time and energy in the act of listening. It is a minute-by-minute conscious decision to attend to life's messages, and that means we have to be willing to apply minute-by-minute consciousness to what we're looking at, where we attend to. And so listening is an action. It's not passive. It's not like being in the audience and hearing a great symphony, although that is also can be a source of great wisdom. But it's not passive. It's the action of receiving. It's the action of attending. It's a form of devotion and discipline. A form of devotion and discipline. We choose to listen and direct our focus to that choice. So if something comes into my life that I need to pay attention to, or I need to act on, or whatever, moment by moment, checking in. What is it? Where am I supposed to go? What do I need to do? Just that recognition that there's something else operating in my actions that is not knee-jerk, that is not a reaction. That's an act of minute-by-minute listening. Listening with an open heart is actually a conversation with God. It is a communion, a sacred act. It's a practice that fills us with the presence of the Holy Spirit. It completes our joining with God and with each other. It is unity. It takes us into the whole. Often we as humans fall into patterns of thinking about what we don't have. We often feel like we need more of something: money, respect, fairness, peace, love, control, the list goes on. When we let our minds wander in this territory of neediness, it affects us emotionally and physically. We worry and distract ourselves with thoughts of "I don't have." Our thinking has made us little in our own minds. We seek and try to obtain what we think we don't have. We look outside to the world and to others to supply our lack. But here's where listening is what is called for. What if, when a thought of not having comes into mind, we paused and noticed the thought, notice what that thought evokes in our bodies and emotions, and in that awareness, we simply chose to listen to the voice that exists within all of us. The voice that speaks from the place deep inside of us that knows we are perfectly safe and loved, no matter what. We let go of the tension in the body and the worry loops in the mind, and we breathe. That place is as close as your breath. It's always there and acceptable. It is your birthright, and it can't be taken from you. And that is where the truths are held. We already have what we are seeking for. So here's a little exercise you can do. And when I first did this many decades ago, it was really astonishing to me. And I found this exercise in a book by Joel Goldsmith, who was a spiritual, mystical leader and author in the early 1900s. And his book called The Thunder of Silence is where I found this. So take a seat, relax as much as you can, and feel the presence, the light, just as we did in our meditation. Let that presence be. And take all the time you need to get there. And then just listen with all of your senses open and ask this question of God. God, how do you see me? How do you see me? And then just listen with all your senses. Don't try to answer. Don't put your words in God's mouth. Just listen with your whole body. Words may arise, feelings, senses. Just listen. And that's the practice. And when I first tried this, as I sat there, I was filled with a presence of love that was so strong and so immense. And the most reassuring and loving words, I felt like I was being held and nurtured like a little baby. And that was my experience. I don't know what yours will be, but I do know this. You can repeat the practice as often as you want. I do know that God doesn't go anywhere and is available to any and all of us. So whenever I read the papers and I get into that tenseness, I know I can practice. I can feel the peace of the moment. I can let the mind try to distract me and simply let the impulse pass and focus on the abundance of now. And I will be given what to do and what to say in all circumstances. And I would know. The practice of spiritual listening brings us to the awareness of our wholeness as a creation of love, no matter what our earthly circumstances might be. Every single being is a perfect part of the divine allness. We are all, always, all that is. And so it is.
Beautiful, Bobbie. Thank you. And we'll have music from Teresa.
I'm lonely and I'm tired, and I'm giving up the fight in my head, and I'm grounded and I'm surrounded by the beauty I know I'll forget. So please this time, oh God, this time, oh this time, please let me remember it. And I'm letting go of things I regret. I'm simple and I'm single, yet I'm getting all that life has to give. So please this time, let me remember. driving through a valley with the Mississippi. It's shining like glass, and I watch a baby spider spin his home between my window and my dash. And Jeff Buckley's on the radio, showing me the way out of the past. Now I see you, you're smiling, and you listen to the words that I say. And I'm happy, 'cause I am surrounded by the beauty that is everything. So please this time, oh God, this time, oh God, this time, oh this time, please let me remember it.
Thank you, Teresa, for such tenderness in your presentation and your lyrics, as always. And it's at this time that we go into our donation of light and love, again by taking a breath together, being in our bodies and aware of our divinity and humanity, and placing our hands on our heart, growing even more aware of that love and light within us that can be shared by simply opening up and allowing it to expand. And the more it expands, the more we receive. And so it is. We'll finish with one more song.
Well, this is one of David's favorites, so I felt it was a good one to play today. It's, again, about listening, I think. So I've lived with my dial up to 9, my gauge well up past the red line, my hand against my fist, my hand against my fist, my hand as I resist. So I've learned I can lie all the time, but once I've earned it, they would still believe the next time. My hand against my fist, my hand against my fist, my hand as I resist. Waterfall So I scaled the wall made by me for one last look at that ocean view I've seen in my life. But never in my dreams, 'cause my dreams appear like water on a desert sand, never noticing the gift was right there in my hand against my fist, hand against my